It's October. You've eaten well all summer. Salads, fruit, light meals. You felt good about yourself. Then something shifts. The days get shorter, the air gets cold, and suddenly, you want everything. Pasta, bread, cheese on top of more cheese. You're not even hungry, you just need it. You tell yourself it's comfort eating, a bad habit, a lack of discipline. You feel guilty about it. You shouldn't, because here's what nobody tells you about that October hunger. It's not weakness. It's a 200,000-year-old survival program running exactly as designed. We think autumn overeating is a modern failure of willpower until we look closer at how our ancestors actually lived, because ancient humans didn't just accidentally gain weight every autumn. They did it deliberately, strategically, obsessively, like their life depended on it. Because it absolutely, completely did. Here's the question that changes everything. What happens to a human body that runs out of stored fat in the middle of winter? Not gets a bit cold, not feels sluggish. What actually physiologically happens? It shuts down, organ by organ, system by system, quietly, efficiently, and without warning. Your ancestors knew this, not from science, not from textbooks, from watching people die. So every single autumn, without exception, without negotiation, they ate everything, as much as possible, as fast as possible, every calorie they could get their hands on. And the ones who did it best, they survived. The ones who showed restraint, who stopped when they were full, who had discipline, they didn't make it to spring. And here's the uncomfortable part. Those survivors, the ones who gorged hardest and stored fat most efficiently, that's you. You are their great-great-great-grandchild. Their biology is your biology, running right now in October. Let's get specific, because this wasn't random. This was a system. First, the trigger. Your brain contains a structure called the hypothalamus. It's ancient, far older than language, far older than conscious thought, and every autumn, as daylight hours shorten, your hypothalamus registers one thing: the light is changing. That signal, a shift of maybe 2 hours of daylight, triggers a cascade. Hunger hormones spike. Leptin, the hormone that tells you you're full, gets suppressed. Ghrelin, the one screaming "eat more," surges. Your body stops listening to your stomach and starts listening to the calendar. This is called seasonal hyperphagia. You see it in bears before hibernation, in migratory birds before a long flight, in almost every mammal that evolved in a seasonal climate, including yours. Second, the targets. Ancient humans weren't eating randomly. They were hunting specific things. Fat, dense, calorie-rich animal fat. Not lean protein, not vegetables, fat. A lean rabbit in winter, something called rabbit starvation, can actually kill you. Too much protein, not enough fat, and your liver fails processing the excess. Arctic explorers discovered this the hard way, centuries later. Ancient humans knew it instinctively. So they hunted the fattest animals they could find. Autumn deer, pre-hibernating bears, which were essentially walking calorie storage. Salmon gorged on their own upstream migration. They rendered fat, stored fat, traded fat. Fat was currency. Fat was status. Fat was survival. A person who looked well-fed going into winter wasn't indulgent. They were prepared. Third, and this is the part nobody talks about, they changed their behavior too. It wasn't just eating. The whole social structure shifted in autumn. Activity levels dropped. Ancient communities pulled inward. Smaller fires, tighter spaces, more sleep, up to 12, sometimes 14 hours a night in deep winter. Not laziness, active conservation. The modern equivalent of turning the heating up and canceling plans. Except for them, canceling plans meant not dying. Social bonds intensified. Groups that foraged separately through summer came together in autumn, sharing food, sharing warmth, sharing the psychological load of a long, dark winter ahead. Think about that. The instinct to gather people close when the weather turns cold, the deep, slightly irrational need to be inside, together, warm and fed. That's not a personality trait. That's 200,000 years of winter preparation talking. And here's the truly fascinating part. Archaeologists studying ancient campsites find something consistent at autumn sites across cultures on almost every continent. Evidence of feasting. Not regular meals, feasts, large communal cooking pits, enormous quantities of processed bone, marrow extraction specifically, because marrow is almost pure fat, middens, ancient rubbish heaps, full of the discarded remains of multiple large animals processed over short periods. These weren't celebrations in the modern sense. They were loading events, deliberate, organized, almost industrial calorie accumulation. Your ancestors looked at the shortening days and threw a dinner party that lasted 3 weeks. They called it survival. You call it the holiday season. Here's where it lands. Every October, something happens in your body that no amount of mindfulness, no calorie counting app, no strongly worded resolution is fully equipped to override. Your hypothalamus looks at the light, does the math, and sends one clear, ancient, non-negotiable instruction. Store now. You feel it as a craving for carbs and fat, as a sudden enthusiasm for stews and bread and everything warm, as a completely irrational urge to cancel plans, stay home, and eat something comforting in low lighting with people you trust. And you've been told your entire life that this feeling is a problem. It isn't. It's the most sophisticated seasonal survival system ever developed by a species, refined over hundreds of thousands of winters, tested against ice ages, famines, and climates that make a British November look tropical. It worked, flawlessly, for almost all of human history. The only reason it feels like a problem now is that we solved winter. Supermarkets don't close in February. Central heating exists. The famine never comes. But your hypothalamus doesn't know that. It's still watching the light, still doing the math, still sending the same instruction it sent to every ancestor you've ever had. Store now, just in case. So, the next time you find yourself reaching for something warm and calorie-dense at 8 p.m. in October and feeling guilty about it, remember, you're not failing at discipline. You're succeeding spectacularly at being human. 200,000 years of winters. Every single one survived by someone who ate too much in autumn. That someone is the reason you exist. Stay curious. I'll see you in the next one.
Alright guys, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.